From China, LIN Shidong.
Great reception there for the world #1, as befits his status. And he will come here knowing, as we know, that we've seen a couple of disappointments for Chinese players just now. But in this first ever encounter with the African who got past Quadriaruna, that's Omar ASSAR, he will, of course, start as a favorite for this one to progress to the round of 16. But they've never met before, and there's just a funny feeling in the air here in Malmo today when it comes to any of the matches that we put up before you, especially in the best-of-5 game format, where you do see the likelihood of an upset far more than when you get to the best-of-7. Wong Hao has already seen disappointment for one of his charges here. In terms of world ranking, Omar has now slipped to 33, so some 32 behind his top-ranked player in the world. And for LIN Shidong, probably for him that we look to improve on, for his standards, relatively disappointing exits over the last couple of top-tier events, whether it be Smash or WTT Champions outings. Benny Sammo is the umpire, and he'll just get the players across to him.
Got the black. Red, you got black. Red, Omar. Right side. Serving, serving. Yeah. LIN serving.
Okay, let's look ahead to this one here. Wow, what a day already it's been so far. Adam Boborough's alongside me, still buzzing from that Honoka Hashimoto show. Let's talk a little bit about Omar ASSAR. Of course, he's always one of the most bubbly, engaging people around the venue, around the hotel when you see him, but he's got a game face on right now as well. He might up against a formidable opponent. So, what do you make of Omar's chances, Adam?
Well, he's definitely strong in the rally. The question is, how can you find a practice partner to give you the quality of shot that the world #1 brings? The most explosive player in the game's on the other side. Omar's played a lot of long matches in his career. He's good behind the table. He's aggressive for a man of his size. He really hustles. He's sort of the opposite of, say, well, Vladi Samsonov, another player who's about the same height, was very smooth and relaxed in the way he plays. But Omar, it feels like he's muscling and hustling for every shot. It's incredible, and it takes a lot of fitness, which fortunately for him, he has.
Yeah, he went into an intensive training camp ahead of a trip to Yokohama. Shidong was, of course, in Yokohama as well. But he went out in the round of 16 stage, a major upset, beaten by Dang Cho of Germany there. Also, remember, he didn't go all the way at the United States Smash in Las Vegas, a semi-final defeat there for him against Tomokazu Haramoto. But in terms of success, the best results, the China Smash winner in 2024 and the winner in Singapore earlier on this year. Of course, an all-Chinese encounter in that matchup there. Let's just check out and remind ourselves what LIN Shidong is about at his very, very best. And he came up against Yang Jin-Kun, who, of course, has made headlines already here today in Malmo for the wrong reasons. And in that encounter, characteristically, maybe typically, it was just that wonderful backhand with a flick. LIN Shidong adding to his reputation. He was still on the up, really, at that stage, and all the way up to the world #1 spot. That is what Omar ASSAR is up against today. Adam, do you think this perilous state, in terms of today's results for the Chinese, is going to in any way impact LIN Shidong's approach to what happens here?
That's a great question. I often wonder, LIN Shidong, for me, is just such a fascinating, easygoing guy. He's got a great sense of humor. He's really chill. And when it comes to, say, pressure and how it affects you, I think that whole patriotic spirit, that will be a big question. Let's see. 76% of the fans behind LIN Shidong here. The remaining 24% behind the Pharaoh. But there's the LIN Shidong fan club in the crowd. Good to see you. Cast your votes at worldtabletennis.com or the WTT app.
First game, LIN to serve, 0-0.
Straight away, we see that wonderful efficiency of movement from the #1.
Such a wonderful demonstration of, while the table's not especially big, how much activity is going on around it.
And already Omar ASSAR is being moved around. He's a big fellow. He's got a long reach. but it's not enough thus far.
Yeah, the timing right off the bounce. Second point in a row, Lin Shidong has taken the ball off the bounce and exposed the wide forehand, exploited it even.
Well, he tries to hang in there. There's some great shots played by Omar ASSAR. In the end, he's left with a distance between him and the ball again.
Easier said than done, but something serious is going to have to change at a tactical level, and it's going to involve Omar ASSAR in the short game, the touch game, staying closer to the table.
At the moment, he doesn't have the answers because Lin Shidong has come out here meaning business.
The Shidong show had been a popular one the second half of the season in 2024. Nearly unstoppable other than Félix Lebrun and Montpellier.
And there we are.
4-1.
A little bit of something to build on for Omar ASSAR, and he celebrates accordingly.
Good read of the little spin on the serve, and he gets aggressive right into the backhand. Short rallies are going to be a key factor for Omar.
He's comfortable getting into those backhand duels by the looks of things. Say that guardedly against Lin Shidong.
Yeah, the positioning in that point. He was covering the wide forehand angle, tempting Lin Shidong to go backhand cross court. Funny, Omar ASSAR is typically quite good in the long rallies.
Omar's got a problem, and he acknowledged it, in that he just keeps exiting these top-tier events, champions and smashes, at the round of 32. Something that he said is not good enough, feels he's better than that, and wants to turn things around.
I'm still thinking about your question in terms of how pressure will affect Lin Shidong, or if it will affect. But if you hear people screaming in front of you as they go down the water slide that you know awaits you, it just sort of prepares you in different ways depending on who you are.
5-4.
How am I going to handle what's to come? How can I change the future? Take fate into my own hands out here.
Yeah, very often we get caught up in associating this with, you know, a team group. It's, of course not. It's individuals or doubles that play in these WTT events.
4-6.
In many senses, yes. For Team China, again, there is more team spirit than any team in the world. If you watch these matches, you'll see in the crowd the Chinese team watching on.
The most significant presence would probably be, you've got Wang Hao, who had to sit there as Liang Jianquan was dismantled by a qualifier. He's someone that you will feel will be thinking, what's going on here today?
Maybe it's a question of handshakes. Can you imagine?
7-5.
Wang Hao just starts looking people in the eyes and shaking hands for a long time, and suddenly everything, like, it's like the end of Beauty and the Beast. Omar doing a wonderful job again, stepping around here, being active, but close to the table. He's making quick decisions, and that's keeping him in. Oh, man, is this a tough one.
He stands and delivers.
Omar does everything right in this point. Gets Lin Shidong chasing from the deep backhand corner, powers it right into the elbow. And Lin Shidong doesn't overextend. He counters back to the open table. Oh, speaking of beauty. And the beast that he is, Lin Shidong, from the start of this match, the world #1, packs a lot of firepower. You were looking at the two of these players standing side by side, and I told you that the more explosive was Lin Shidong.
Tells you a lot about the sport, doesn't it?
Exactly.
5-10.
It's the beauty of it. And now the world #1 with 5 game points against the Pharaoh, Omar ASSAR.
Omar did well early on. He fought back to 4-all, but since then things have just slipped again. And that's it. Lin Shidong takes the first. Little shake of the head from ASSAR, but then he knew he was in for a tough assignment here. Lin Shidong has his fans in the house, and they'll be delighted with what they've seen so far. As he lifts first easily enough, 11-5, and goes in search of another game. So whilst we're buzzing here with some of the drama we've seen already today, let's check in on the seeds, because fourth on the list there, Liang Jianquan, dumped out of this by qualifier Adrien Rosenfoss. Of course, Felix Lebrun fell at the very first hurdle. We've lost Zhang Peng as well, the number 8 seed. And Anders Lind, well, he came up against a very much informed player as he exited. So, yeah, there has been a degree of attrition, Adam.
Kanak Jha getting over Anders Lind, Dima taking out Zhang Peng. Interesting to see. And Omar ASSAR actually with a little bit of home court advantage here, as he's spent a good percentage of his life here in Sweden.
Yeah, has a lot of affection for Sweden. And he was delighted, of course, to get past another African player in Quadri Aruna to make it to this show down here. Played well against Quadri as well.
Typically does. A lot of experience, but their first ever time in WTT
Second
history.
game, ASSAR to serve, 0-0.
At least in a WTT event.
1-0.
That's the way. Steps into the table, takes the first point of the second game.
Yeah, reverse pendulum serve inside the baseline. Top and side spin, and he follows up quickly. This is what I wanted to see.
Tell me why.
Remember when we were asking, or maybe you asked me what it would take? I was saying short rallies. You just, when you get into the law of averages, the longer the rally goes, the more favored, the better seed is.
Now, we've seen that before towards the end of game one. And as it lengthens, you're right, Adam, so do the odds.
What a reach here. Lin Shidong really extending to cover the table.
Oh, wow. Oh, you almost willed him to win that one. Two of those gets from Omar ASSAR were wonderful.
Yeah, no matter who it is putting in the effort to make these shots one, that right there is crazy. Hand on the ground. And if that comes down, it's just too pretty.
And he made two harder shots than the one he missed by the look of things.
2-3.
Second time we've heard him utter that word, easy, at the end of last game. And just here, could be take it easy. Could be this shot is not one that you would normally miss. I would guess it's the former, simply because mentally Omar is very sharp, and he wouldn't be talking to himself in a way that would be insulting himself. I'm sure we've all seen these personal mental health care posts and whatnot online about talking kindly to yourself. At this level of play, it's quite important as well.
That's another pretty readable show of frustration for Omar ASSAR there.
Just a reminder how crucial every single point will be when you're playing against the world #1 who's won 12 of the last 16 points.
There's another, and it's the efficiency of Shidong, who goes about his business, accumulates points, and just gets on with things. Just looking at some stats over the last year, he gets it done quicker than anyone else when it comes to winning. And just to give you that stat, whether it's best of 5 or best of 7, he averages winning a match in 37 minutes, which is the most efficient of anyone out there.
Smart play, shallow spin there, that last bounce just behind the net. Lin Shidong showing wonderful versatility in his attacking game. Much softer, that one. So the ball never makes it all the way out to Omar ASSAR and forces him to sort of replant the feet or lean forward.
Too good.
8-3.
Again, sending the bigger man lunging in vain.
Nice. Getting into it. President of the Lin Shidong fan club.
There you go, an opportunity, and he doesn't get many. Omar ASSAR taken as he has to.
Well handled for a fast, long serve into the elbow. The player at Omar's height does have a bigger target in that crossover. But again, he plays a very physical game for a guy his size.
So quick.
Very surprising here on the placement to go into the backhand line. Whoa, is that genetic? Talking about the glasses, by the way.
Oh, nearly. Again,
10-4.
You know, when they talk about soccer sometimes, football, and they say sometimes the first couple of yards is in the head. You know, that anticipation is basically about people who get into good positions quickly. And Shidong feels that way most of the time.
Well, he's still in a good position here despite a strong receive. Omar saving a game point. 5 left for the world number 1.
Saves another, but with one game already lost, Omar ASSAR really can't afford to let this one go too, you feel? But wide, and frustration from him, but job being done by LIN Shidong. The number 1 is looking very unlikely to add to the list of Chinese casualties here today. And that will be good news for the fan club. That'll be good news for those watching on in some style, it must be said, as they're being treated to the Shidong show, and it's always worth watching. 11-5, 11-6 he leads.
Here's a look at the Chinese team there, from Liu Heng and Lin Gaoyuan to Xue Fei, the rest of the gang. Just some visuals to support the idea that wherever a Chinese national team player goes, the rest of the team is sure to be there to support.
Yeah, yeah.
Third game, LIN to serve, 0-0.
And they'll like what they see so far. As Omar takes the first point of a game, but he did that in the second and was second best come the end of it.
Strong backhand from the baseline, good corner placement. Again, playing with danger here is going to be a factor, taking risks. Took his fair share and made a pretty high percentage. That's just the state of LIN Shidong at the moment.
Every time he's stretched, though, he's finding it hard. Let's change the direction off the backhand again from Shidong.
Yeah, LIN Shidong is just constantly resetting the feet. You could see him very compact, playing the ball from in front. Good placement into the middle this time around. Not easy to hit that crossover.
Yeah, he's trying a few things, Omar ASSAR here.
As he must. Player who's been beaten, well, 22-11 after the first 2 games, point-wise.
And a celebration. And that's a healthy 4-1 lead in the context of this match. Of those numbers you just reeled off there, Adam, this is as good as it gets for Omar ASSAR. He's just got to make it count now.
He's got an incredible fight, determination, and focus. We've seen some big comebacks already in this event.
4-2.
But going back to that unflappability, the phlegmatic approach of Lin Shidong, there are a number of things that make you the best in the world, but that's right up there. His composure. Nothing really seems to faze this guy.
That was such a perfect read from a heavy side spin shot. Chiquita with a whole lot of potassium on it.
I was giving you some stats about efficiency in terms of winning matches quickly for Shidong. The other thing, stats-wise, is he plays more than anybody else. He tends to go very, very deep in events, playing doubles and mixed doubles, as well as going a long way in singles. And that's probably a good thing, because he just seems to be an autopilot. He just goes out and he wins.
Experience may be the best teacher. And at this level, he's got a ton of experience.
As for Omar ASSAR, well, he needs to call on all of his experience if he is to somehow mount a comeback in this one. We'll find out soon enough, but let's also remind you that we have now got an all-China affair coming along. He Zhuojia is coming up against Huaiman. So we have the number 4 seed in the foreground there, as both players in close proximity as they warmed up for this one. Well, they're going to be in close proximity in the Renaissance Arena before too long. Well, I can tell you this, Adam, we're going to see another Chinese player exit this event. That's inevitable in that one.
Sort of a glass half empty statement, but no, it's a fair fact.
There's a theme, isn't there? It's not seemingly going to be carried out by this match, because Omar ASSAR may lead in this third game by 4-3, but he was comfortably beaten in the first 2 games by the world number 1.
So back from his timeout without a coach on the bench. He's got years and years of experience at the top level. Omar ASSAR facing the top level right now. The sound is so satisfying on both of these shots. That clicky sound that means the ball is struck with slightly less spin. It really has a lot of forward motion. He takes some chances on both of those shots, but perfect placement to secure the point.
Not quite.
4-5.
But having taken a point straight off the timeout, well, it's given him something. He's maintained that slender advantage.
Five-all.
And we spoke about risk-taking, and there's some visual evidence of that.
Yeah, the short side of the table there definitely makes the net feel that much higher. Looked like he was saying to himself, go cross court on that.
And there's a put away.
This time it wasn't just power, but it was placement. He goes inside out on this. You might recall the last time he just crushed the ball when he stepped around. So this time the side swipe is really what pays off.
The damage having been done by the backhand. Oh, speaking of which,
6-all.
every now and then he produces a shot that stings the opponent, and that was one from Lin Shidong.
Yeah, more than most. His frequency is quite high. Second towel break, there will be a little bit of a sweat squad here. Ingrid Bogren taking care of business, our assistant umpire, who's been at the top of the game for a long time. Called one of my favorite matches in history. Zhu Yuling and Liu Shiwen at the Women's World Cup 2017.
7-6.
And he's just wrested the initiative back here, has Lin Shidong, having trailed in this one all the way through. But it's tight.
7-all.
And remember, Omar ASSAR has to do almost the unthinkable and win 3 straight games against the best in the world if he is to progress here.
If he thinks about it that way, it's probably not going to help the cause. It's just going to be 1 point at a time. Oh, man, turned and burned. Lin Shidong, quick to go the other way. Keep your eyes. The timing, just the weight shift. Omar had just sort of balanced a little bit leaning as if he was going to turn the corner, and that was enough of a clue.
9-7.
Should Lin Shidong go through in the round of 16, it'll be either Ricardo Walter of Germany or Anton Schauber of Sweden that would play him.
quality on the last two shots from Omar ASSAR. Amazing. He had to play some soft spin in this rally earlier, a little bit of a net break. Take a look here one more time. High arc into the middle, well placed. Acknowledged by LIN Shidong. Okay, I see you, not too bad. He's the Joe Pesci of the Chinese team, by the way.
Ooh.
8-10.
And that sets him up with a couple of match points. He acknowledged the fortune that came his way. But Joe Pesci. I mean, he's got the voice.
Oh, interesting. For me, it's a face thing, too.
Well, the pitch of the voice as well works, doesn't it? Quite high-pitched. Anyway, match points. Oh, and that's it. As once again, ASSAR tried to take the initiative, failed, and as a result, straight games. All that LIN Shidong needed to progress to that round of 16. So 11-5, 11-6, and then a more competitive 11-8 in the third. But he is looking in good shape as he looks to make his way deep into this historic Europe Smash, Sweden 2025. And that's where we say goodbye for now to Omar ASSAR. As Adam rightly said, very fond of Sweden, spent some very good times here, and he has enjoyed his time here already this week. And even in this one, a few moments from Omar, but he needed more than a few.
We saw some quality points right out of the gates here in game number one, and every game had its fair share of quality points. LIN Shidong playing up to his standard after 22 minutes of play was just consistent. And think of the first 3 points of the match. After that, we got quite a match in terms of Omar ASSAR really getting into the rallies. But serve, open rally, it just felt like a rare occasion that LIN Shidong was stretched on either wing. And the rare occasion that he was found caught in the middle was credit to Omar ASSAR, but that's how good the world number one is at this moment. With more than 150% the points of his opponent. He takes only 22 minutes, quick business, and we'll have a chance to hear from LIN Shidong down on court with our very own Charmian. So stick around because, well, it's not every day you get to hear from the world number one.
It's our winner, of course, LIN Shidong. Well done today. Now, this was you and Omar's first international encounter. Which aspects did you think you handled well today in order to secure your victory? Shidong, 恭喜你。那这是你们首次国际交手啊。你认为今天自己在哪些方面处理的比较好，最终拿下了胜利呢？
也是我这场也是跟奥马尔也是在国际赛场上第一次交手吧，然后也是自己困难准备得非常充分吧，然后可能今天自己一上去的调动还是非常快吧，然后自己的整个人的节奏其实非常好，然后无论到后面可能遇到一些困难，但是可能自己也是非常有耐心吧，然后一分一分去跟他打。
This is, of course, our first international encounter with Omar. And I thought today the pace of the match was well done. We got into a quick rhythm as well, but I felt I was very prepared going into today's match. And even though we met some difficulties at the final game, I stuck to my strategy and eventually brought the win home. Now, having gone through 2 matches at this point, Shidong, how are you adjusting to playing here, and how will the next match look like for you? Shidong, 经过了2场比赛后，适应的如何呢？怎么去展望接下来的比赛？
其实我感觉已经打了2场比赛了吧，然后自己可能状态也一点一点在变好吧，然后可能也希望自己后面能有更好的发挥，然后全力以赴去对待每一场比赛吧。
I do feel that with every match that I play, my condition gets better. And looking ahead to the next match, I do hope that I continue this good run and, of course, bring home the win. Thank you so much, Shidong, and congratulations. 再次恭喜你, Shidong.
And the fan club is happy there to hear from their hero, who has had a relatively straightforward passage through to the round of 16, where, as I said, a match that we'll bring you this evening between Ricardo Walter and Anton Schalberg will yield the identity of his opponent. As you can see, we're seeing results coming all the way through in different aspects and parts of this bracket here. Dima through against Wang Chunting, and he